Ross, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
It's
I'm
time
just,
for
I'm
our victory. It's time for our victory lap once again, dog. It's like we've
yes,
been getting victory lap after victory lap after victory lap this whole month, man.
yeah.
What's up, dog? Talk to the people, man.
The thing about it is, just like you can't hide, just like you can't hide the sun bases at an angle where you can't see it, but it never goes away. It's just at an
Facts.
angle. The Earth's at one angle, the sun's at another angle that you think it's gone away, but the sun hasn't moved anywhere. The world moves somewhere. It's just like the truth. The truth is always there. People
Whoosh.
just wasn't in the angle to see it. We saw it.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't see it from their angle, but
Yep.
now they know because now outside of Leonard Ldbc, Errol Spence has called out Blue Blood Sports TV, and by
Yep.
calling him out, he's directly calling out the Ldbc. Why? Because they have groupthink,
Yep.
and what makes this hard, what makes this hardcore, what makes this everlasting a permanent hit is Errol Spence's name. His moniker is the truth.
The truth.
So when you find yourself on the wrong side of the truth, and it's not like he throws it around and be capping, he really stays kind of true to. He's very honest, and he normally speaking was real. When you
Yep.
find yourself on the wrong side of the truth, symbolically, you're gonna find yourself on the wrong side of the truth, literally.
Whoosh.
You know what I'm saying? So, and this is the second time Blue Blood Sports TV's been called out. This is the third time the Ldbc been called out publicly by big entities. Because Al
Yep.
Hammond, he had to call out barbershop conversation for being thirsty and being disrespectful to Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You think they would have learned their lesson by now?
Yep.
They don't realize the PBC doesn't have to play politics.
Nope.
They made all that money without playing politics. So they don't have to be nice to y'all.
Exactly.
They know that they don't care about your gossip. They don't care about the negative feedback they get from the Ldbc.
Yep.
Because they use all publicity like Easy E.
Yep. All publicity is good publicity. Whoosh.
Right. So that's the moniker. The PBC don't care about the haters. But you won't disrespect them to their face, though. You
Yep.
can do that on your platform, but you're not going to be at a press conference and disrespect Floyd. You ain't going to be at a press conference. You ain't going to be disrespecting Errol Spence, even on your platform, and come to his face. He set a different standard. Even if you didn't disrespect me in public, I'm holding you to the fire right here in front of everybody. Like, bro, basically he said, why you trying to help, basically in a nutshell, what Errol Spence said is, why the fuck you trying to help Terence Crawford duck me, man?
Facts.
That's what he said.
Yep.
That's what he
really
up. He could care
Straight
less
up.
about him really jumping size. He brought that Black Prime shit up purposely. He's like, so where's that at? What is that? Yeah, y'all thought of? Oh, Black Prime said so what's going on with that? Oh, it's not really working right now. You're like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, man. You see?
And he threw a dig at him again on top of that, just to let him know, you see, this shit that you was trying to get him to duck on, the shit went to the wayside. Where is it now? Basically, he was asking the question to be like, you tried to make it seem like what y'all shit was better than what we already got that's established PBC. He was giving the distinction on that. Why would I leave what's already established and what's already known, what's been making not just millions, not tens of millions, not hundreds of millions, but actually billions of dollars, dog.
But the problem is the Ldbc too smart for their own fucking good. They're too smart for their own good. But they don't realize a lot of boxers aren't the brightest, but that's not a bad thing. In America, most people are fucking illiterate. That's number one. A lot of people aren't the brightest.
That's true.
A lot of blue collar workers aren't the brightest. A lot of college graduates ain't the brightest. They know a lot of book shit, but they can't apply it. To me, that's still stupid.
Yep.
If you have a crazy vocabulary, but you can't apply shit, and you like still you struggling in life, you still stupid to me.
Exactly.
No matter how many fancy words you know, you dumb to me. But the thing is, they see the guys who they can manipulate. And sadly, for Deontay Wilder's thing, Deontay Wilder is more loving than he is dumb. But for Terence Crawford, they know Terence Crawford ain't the brightest nigga in the world.
Yep.
They scrunched up together $40 million for a fight. 20 million a piece. Errol Spence already made $20 million, dude.
Yep.
And got money on the back end for the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
What are you talking about, man? He talking about he came to Errol Spence. Errol Spence turned it down and asked him about the back end. He said, if you're a real boxer, why you worried about the back end?
Ooh,
it was funny. It's like Floyd Mayweather would do all this shit for nothing.
Yep.
Cause these motherfuckers don't pay attention. They not smart like that.
Nope.
They don't pay attention. Everybody should be talking about the back end. And these niggas, I don't know why they don't care about the back end, bro. They care about just getting the bare minimum because they know bare minimum is bare minimum responsibility.
Exactly.
As long as Floyd was getting that back end money, guess what? Floyd had to fight competition every time. He had to fight a former champion or current champion. If he couldn't get a fight at 147, he had to move up and fight a champion. He could not fight whoever he wanted to fight.
Facts.
That's why he fought all them fucking champions back to back to back. He think he's gonna take these people 200 million plus just to sign guaranteed money, and you gotta go fight nobody and do Showtime like Canelo did DAZN and leave him belly up because you ain't fighting nobody. Hell no. Showtime do good business. You gonna fight people, and Floyd is a gamer. Floyd knew he had to fight motherfuckers, and he did it. But that's the thing. These people, the LDBC, despicable, man.
Yep. Despicable. They have a cartoon called Despicable Me. They despicable me, man.
They despicable because they play on the fact that they know what's what, but they fan base allowed them to do this.
Yep.
They back and forth depending on who got the power.
Yep.
They back and forth. When was the last time you seen the LDBC cover Errol Spence fight? They don't really be at his fights like that. Now they all in Errol Spence face, blah, like, bro, hold on. Now you try to ease back in because you know I'm about to win.
Yep. That's what it is.
Or you think I'm about to win, and now you trying to ease back in, like, nah.
Yeah.
Stay over there. Errol Spence
stay over there.
He's just a real Chicago, so real Miami, so real in your face type shit. That was some Kanye West, Antonio Brown type shit.
Yep, that's that old school. You know what he hit him with? That's that old school Texas, gunslinging type shit. That shit you used to see in them Clint Eastwood movies. Right. That old school shit. Like, stay your ass over there because I'm about to pull this shit out the holster right now and shoot the shit out your ass. Because this ain't no joke right now. You was fake as fuck. We've been saying this for years, man. We called this shit. We said fake as fuck Errol Spence fans. Because that's what they are, man. They only come in when they think the thing makes sense to them. But this is what it speaks to even more profoundly. The LDBC's put on notice. Because now Blue Blood Sports TV, by getting disrespected and basically getting checked by Errol Spence, his credibility is right here. Right. It's right here to be shot. He's going to become like Barbershop's Conversation. You see right now, he's getting interviewed. If you notice, Fight Hype even said some reporter just got clowned by Errol Spence. He didn't even mention him by name. They didn't even show him respect, even though that's his supposed colleague. Because Fight Hype could see that eventually they're going to remove you from the press. You're not going to be able to come into these fights. So you got to tread light and tread carefully. This is why I try to tell these LDBC clowns, you guys are not going to be able to have access to these boxers. These interviews you're doing and all this shit, even the ones that you have the interviews with right now, these motherfuckers are going to start leaving your ass soon when they start seeing that other boxers are disassociating themselves, because it's a domino effect. Monkey see, monkey do.
Hold on, he knows. I need you to go back, man. I need you to go back to the fact, because I thought I was the only one that peeped that. But me personally, I know people's voices. Like you, I know people's voices. So if someone wants to rob me, they would have to have a voice coder or something. Because I don't know exactly who they are, which I know your voice. I knew his voice. But the fact that these motherfuckers said some reporter, but Errol Spence, they know who this is. This dude got a platform over 100,000 subscribers. It's totally disrespect, but he carries himself in a way to where he can be disrespected.
But Fight Hype did that. Fight Hype did that, and this is the thing. On our level, we see everything because we know actions and we know body language. And since we're the actions and body language experts, we know what all of the nuances mean. But when Fight Hype did that, Fight Hype was basically saying, why are you even standing here next to me interviewing this guy? You're embarrassing me as press.
Right.
That's why he said some reporter.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't catch that. It went over their fucking heads. But I'm telling you guys, I'm sending the warning message. You guys are smart because we have content here. All you guys do is click to our videos, watch it, and then pay attention. I would want to see eventually people get to the point where they get ahead of the warnings and don't wait and be in reactive situations. Because LDBC, listen, this is the warning. This is the He Knows Everything warning, the Tom Ross TV warning to you guys. Tighten the fuck up, or you guys won't have access. They're gonna strip you guys. Now all you're gonna become is basically motherfuckers that's gonna be mad as hell on YouTube. And this is where you're gonna start losing your fan base, because when your fan base starts seeing that you're being stripped, it's gonna be like barbershop. You see barbershop conversation. Everyone's disassociated themselves from him. He's a pariah. And all he does every day is talk badly about PBC. And even the same people in y'all same group could say, man, you don't know what the fuck he talking about. That's what's going to end up happening to all of y'all. Y'all all going to end up like him. So what Earl just did is he made y'all force yourselves to bend the fucking knee. That's it. It was really fucking simple.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And the thing about it is now it's getting to the point where we've beat this drum so much. Because think about the truth is, people don't realize how God created us to be many versions of him. Mm-hmm. So when God speaks, like an earthquake might happen, like a tsunami might happen, right? When he speaks his truth, like a galaxy might be formed. But when you everything you say, what they call it reverberates throughout the universe. People said
it reverberates.
Right. People said the universe didn't give you anything. Mm-hmm. God is all knowing. It reverberates, and if it's in God's will, it will happen. If it's not, it won't. Facts. But when something is everything that's the truth is God's will. Facts. Everything that's the truth is God's will.
That's how you can find God through the truth.
Period. So if you have two people who agree on the truth and they steady speaking it, it can reach the people's ears who they haven't ever met before.
Facts.
And next thing you know, they're saying the same thing you said in the same way you said it.
Yep.
And even if they never seen your content, because your words have power.
Facts.
They have power, man. They reverberate throughout they expound and they vibe throughout the universe. You know what I'm saying? So when you got people like me, he knows the sport, or he knows everything. The real Marlo TV. We ain't got the biggest platforms, but the truth cuts through a lot of bullshit.
Yep.
The truth cuts through a lot of bullshit. These posts I've been making about Errol Spence been pissing people off. These posts I've been making about Floyd being great, about Kobe being better than LeBron, they're getting so much attention because it's cutting through the media narrative.
Yep.
That's why. And the truth is always in God's will. No matter what the topic is on, just the honest God's truth is in God's will. So you can never hold the truth back.
Man, I'm glad you said that, because you know how many people said, man, how you it's blasphemy for you to say throw God into it, and they don't realize in your simplistic mindset, God is known as the spirit of truth. So when we're also saying everything that's true endues and is basically surrounding his presence is the truth, because when you tell the truth, you're actually accessing God's complex. You're accessing the spirit, because he's the spirit of truth. Everywhere he goes, he tells the truth. And we know with the truth is sharper than two-edged sword, piercing the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, even unto the joints and marrows, is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. That's how lethal the truth is, man. It's sharper than a two-edged sword. Have you guys ever seen a two-edged sword in person? It's sharper than that. So that means when it cut, it's cutting all the way through, not just cutting through your body. It's cutting through your soul.
To the soul.
It's cutting through your spirit. It's cutting through and through.
To the soul.
And like the good book say, line upon line and precept upon precept. That's how that thing cut.
Yeah.
When Errol the Juice Man said what he said, he basically G-checked Blue Blood on a line upon line and precept upon precept way. The G-check is so bad. Here's the thing. This is how you could tell that the Ldbc is guilty. Notice every time they're in a compromising position, they get very stifling. They don't become, they're like chihuahuas that's barked in the corner. A chihuahua does they bark, right?
Right.
But once they get choked and cloaked, they go. Notice there ain't no content because they barked. They've been in the corner pissing, trying to figure out, scrambling their brains. How do we get around this? Because Earl just G-checked us. Earl put us on notice right now. We looking bad. So we just need to shut the fuck up right now and stay quiet.
Right.
So right now, this is what's happening. They're having a group thinking meeting, and their leader is basically, you know how in the masonry you hear these guys beat these motherfuckers up, they go and get paddles, and they go paddle motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He has been called because he's one of the sects of the Ldbc. Their head leader, I don't know who the name of that person is, called him and said, "Hey, you need to come to our headquarters because we're gonna have to paddle you right now." That's what's happening right now.
Well, you in violation.
You go get paddled because right now they looking bad.
You're in violation of Sector Code 597. Hey, but check it out. See, the thing is with this shit right here, the reason why they always fall off and they get stifled is because whenever they get hit with any adversity, they shrink. If you really feel the way you feel, just stand up and say, "Yeah, man, I meant that. I meant everything I said. I don't think you can be Bud." Say it to his face. If you really feel that way. If you don't, then right on the spot, like he puts you on the spot, apologize. Say, "You know what? Yeah, I was being wishy-washy. I apologize about that." That's how you take the stain off shit. By standing up as a man. But when you cop please, like, no, I always uplift Floyd. When you start copping please like that, saying shit that we all know ain't the truth, then you lose credibility. Because you don't always uplift Floyd. The only
this is why this matrimony, they're matrimony with Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is naturally wishy-washy. Bill Haney is naturally wishy-washy. Look at how they dealt with the Floyd situation. They want to act like they cool with Floyd when they're around Floyd, but then when they're not around Floyd, be like, "Man, that's why I don't associate myself with Floyd." Wishy-washy people associate themselves with wishy-washy people. You would have thought Blue Blood Sports TV would have learned his lessons from Leonard Ldbc. Leonard Ldbc is the most qualified. He's actually, Errol the Juice Spence is the biggest name in boxing from a superstar standpoint. But when you're thinking about from a business standpoint, Leonard Ldbc is actually more qualified with the warning that he's giving Blue Blood, because you know why? He is right there. Errol talks to Al consistently, right? But they're like kind of far away from each other. It can be through the phone or whatever, right? Leonard Ldbc is right there in the board meetings. Leonard Ldbc is right there every day in this guy's presence, businessman to businessman. So Leonard Ldbc is telling you as a businessman, straightforward, in his business meetings every day, being tutored and mentored by Al Heyman every day. He's telling you, listen, the shit that you did with Floyd, we get it. He's helping you to basically correct yourself. When somebody checks you, a checking is not, and I have to explain what checking is all about, because people get the checking misconstrued. When somebody checks you, they don't check you because they want to disrespect you. They don't check you because they want to violate you. Now, some check-ins require violation. There's no way around that. Now, if you straight violate, you're going to get violated.
Right.
The general premise of G-checking someone is to make them tighten up. It's to make them become better and to make them grow from their situation. I see that you're a brother. I see that you have something here that's of potential, but you're going about it the wrong way. I'm checking you so that you can sit back, think for a second, process the information, and then come back to the drawing board in a better way. He had the opportunity to do that when Leonard Ldbc, he fucked up. Now you let the biggest name in boxing today and Errol Spence do that to you. I'm going to tell you right now, I will be surprised, and I'm going to say this, I would be surprised if Blue Blood Sports TV's press pass after this shit that Earl just did. I'd be very surprised and remiss if that shit ain't pulled. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that's exactly what happened to Barbershop's conversation after Floyd had that direct diss to him. It was similar to the effect. And then we found out weeks later, this man's press pass and everything was taken from him. He was no longer to be involved in PBC events. The way that Earl came at him, if Earl is still feeling some type of way about what he said, and he be like, man, I don't want this nigga around me, this fake ass nigga, or Blue Blood is still stupid enough to keep following him. Well, I uplift you, Earl. He do that. Earl might turn around and then behind closed doors say, hey, I want this motherfucker shit pulled. Like, I don't need this motherfucker around me, man. He's annoying. He's fake. Because, you know, real motherfuckers don't like fake motherfuckers around them.
You're right. You're right.
And then once he does that, then Blue is forever fucked. And here's the thing. Me and Ross gave you guys Blue Blood Sports TV's title. We call him Blue Fence Straddler TV. We told you he's a fence straddler, man. He straddles the fucking fence.
But another thing, this nigga is warning coming for destruction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it comes in threes. This is the third strike right here.
Yep.
This is the third strike. Now, they can either start calling shit as it is, stop, and what they do is they try to force black fighters into giving them interviews instead of just covering shit and being fair and being selected.
Yep.
So if they try to force their hand, and the ones who they can't force, they give them bad press.
Yep.
So this is the warning. Start keeping it real in boxing, or else you're gonna get faded out. Because now you got Timothy Ayers. I don't even remember Timothy Ayers. He's saying Blue Blood Sports, Blue Blood is a clown. Somebody else said, Joseph N said Ldbc a clown. Niggas are saying they clowns now.
Yep.
And it's their own doing.
And here's the funny thing about it. Didn't we say, me and Ross said people were going to start saying this?
Yeah.
We said this back in 19. We said this in 20. To be honest with you guys, me and Ross, we prepped y'all, man. We told y'all that Ldbc was going to have a downfall. They were going to fall. If they don't get their affairs in order, they were going to fall. And this is what's happening. You guys are starting to see the beginning of the fall. And it's happening by the hands of Errol Spence.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing right there. Because you got your warnings. At one point, are you going to adapt and say, all right, let's keep it 100? They don't keep it 100 on nothing. Even when they call themselves keeping it 100, they still leave in gray area. They supposed to be going hard. They supposed to went hard on Lomachenko for losing. They supposed to went hard on Canelo Alvarez.
Yep. And expose him.
They didn't go hard enough for him ducking on Andre. They didn't go hard enough because Andre is inexplicable. That's an inexplicable duck. Who ducks an undisputed fight, man?
Facts.
Then you duck your mandatory and Charlo so many times that they got to take the belt from you and give it to another motherfucker.
Facts.
They ain't go hard on Devin Haney. Devin Haney at this point is supposed to smoke Lomachenko, not barely win.
And why they're not going hard on him to run it back? Because they're getting them fucking interviews. Why they sucking that dick? Because they're getting those fucking interviews, man. That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying? And they losing credibility doing this.
And then they got their followers that supposedly have supposed independent channels, but really they're group thinkers in of themselves, sucking the dick and basically saying, well, Devin Haney's undisputed. Devin Haney don't have to. Boxing don't work like that. As long as you're a fighter and you're fighting, you have to fight. Floyd had to always constantly reprove himself. There's no moment where you just arrive to a level and then that's it, the work stops. No, you got to constantly reprove yourself. Earl has to constantly reprove himself. Andre Ward has to constantly reprove himself. So the rules are the rules to them, but it doesn't apply to everybody else. Everybody else, once they hit a certain level, they don't have to reprove themselves. Shakur Stevenson punked this motherfucker. Either you fight Shakur Stevenson, who is your number one WBC mandatory, or more logical thing for you to do because you did not look good in your win, and he technically deserves the rematch. I'm not high on Loma. Ross is not high on Loma. Oxtail's not high on Loma. The black boxing community fan base is not high on Loma, but 75% of us is saying the Loma deserves a rematch, man. Run this shit back.
If you're not gonna give him, the only way he could get away with not fighting Loma, he got to fight Shakur or he got to fight Tank Davis.
Exactly.
You can't not fight none of them. If you're not gonna fight none of them, you got to fight Loma again.
Yep.
Period.
And even Andre Ward had to come out and tell this motherfucker that shit. And when you let an airfield fighter have to talk on a topic because for some reason you yourself you didn't see it, it's actually a way. It's actually in the sense the airfield fighter is actually annoyed by you.
Mm-hmm.
The airfield fighter is annoyed by you, man, and that's really what it is. He's fucking annoyed. If I'm being honest with y'all, and that's what it is. He's annoyed. Andre Ward is annoyed at the fact that you cannot see that you weren't definitive with this win,
right?
And this is a G code thing that we know as black people. This is our pride here. This is our inner spirit. When something's not definitive, we run that motherfucker back. Right. That's a code we all know, no matter where the fuck you from. We know that shit. Because we never want nobody to say we wasn't definitive on anything. And for Devin Haney to not be definitive, come on, man. He going against the code. He going against the G code, man. Let's be honest.
The fact that you have to be reminded that means to me you're not really trying to be great.
Nope.
You're going to try to be great.
And then niggas that's sitting there apologizing for him, knowing the fuck shit that he's doing with that. Come on, man. Let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop the bullshit right now. And let's call shit for what it is.
Most niggas are betas, and they only can relate to other betas. You know how a beta can make yourself an alpha. Yep. It's not true if you could be born one thing and not be another. An alpha could do some fucked up shit and keep having a cycle of doing fucked up shit till he become a beta.
Right.
You know how you make yourself an alpha, man? When you're around an alpha and you feel intimidated within yourself, you check that. You check that within yourself. You don't, because what happens is you feel intimidated when you're around an alpha, and then you're not checking yourself. You're taking out an alpha subliminally behind the back, doing sneaky shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, you know what, maybe I can learn something from this man.
Yep.
Typically, and I forgot what they call the chimpanzee unit, but typically the one who learned it from the alpha becomes the alpha next.
Yep.
Not the beta who always crying and shit, who keep it on. Typically, the one who becomes the alpha is either somebody from another camp that come and beat the alpha, or the dude who's right next to the alpha the whole time is learning from him. Right there, he become the alpha when the alpha passed away. That's how that shit goes. You don't get intimidated. If they make you insecure, you check your insecurity and you work on that. But the problem is, a lot of these guys are insecure by these alpha males, by these guys who got charisma, these guys who naturally fill up a room when they come in the room, and they're shrinking and they're finding holes to poke at, like women. Instead of saying, you know what, I want to have that
chimpanzee unit communities.
Instead of saying, you know what, I want to have that type of command of a room. What is he doing? What is he doing? How does he respond? This and the third. Let me learn from this guy. And because most men are betas, they automatically are gravitated towards other betas like Terence Crawford, LeBron James.
Yep.
He's universally loved in the hood. Why? Because they see their beta stuff in him.
Drake.
They had an apprehension towards Kobe because they couldn't relate to a nigga who played basketball but didn't need it.
Drake.
To a nigga who dedicated his life to something he didn't even need because his parents had already set him up for success. They made us hate. They made us hate Kobe because he had good parents. This how fucking fucked up and screwed up they got us. So that's the reason why you see niggas gravitating to Canelo.
Yep.
Gravitating to Devin Haney and shit.
Yep. Drake instead of Kanye.
Right. But hating on Kanye. Hating on Tank. Be honest.
Hating on the real ones, dog. Hating on the Charlos. You know how long these motherfuckers. Man, you know how long the Ldbc been hating on the Charlos? They even got to the point, and this is when you know this is not even about boxing. They got to the point where they even went, and that's when I knew they were violating it on every level. You guys never see me hit nobody on some personal shit, man. I keep that shit boxing, bro. They went ahead and violated the Charlo brothers in the sense of saying, oh, that's why Jamal Charlo has problems with his woman. That's why they about to have their marital issues and shit like that because he's not getting money from PBC. Whatever your talks with PBC, you don't let that go and spew into somebody's family. That's a violation. They lucky Jamal Charlo didn't see none of them motherfuckers in person. If he was liable to knock one of them motherfuckers out because his hands is literally a registered weapon and we know how powerful Jamal Charlo is, he would have been well within his right to do that shit. And nobody could have told him nothing.
That's why they're clowns. They lack integrity.
Yep.
You don't know that for certain, so you shouldn't be saying that.
Yep.
And first of all, the PBC has no history of underpaying fighters.
Facts.
But where is this coming from? And why is it they so quick to say the PBC not paying fighters, but they don't say that shit about Top Rank?
Facts.
Top Rank has a history of not paying fighters.
Yep.
De La Hoya has a history of underpaying fighters. They both have. Eddie Hearn has a big history of underpaying. They all have a history of rigging fights. Why aren't these guys using their platform to expose the non-black owned companies? Because they really sellouts, man.
Yep.
All them motherfuckers, 78, all of them, Blue Blood, in Chicago. If a nigga is not because he has to report to some military base, if a nigga is purposely choosing to be clean shaven, no military, no nothing, shade all the way bald, yeah, Tom, man. It never fails, bro. It never fails. I've never seen it. It's always some tricky shit with him. It's always some acquiescing a little too much to society.
Talking about barbershop conversation?
I'm talking about Fanon.
Oh, Fanon, yeah.
Barbershop conversation got a beard. He got a beard. And so and when you think about it, I'm even putting a squeeze of some of my favorite people. I'm putting a squeeze on Floyd, and I'm putting a squeeze on I'm putting a squeeze on Michael Jordan. There's a point in their career where they was getting near that line of timing.
Facts.
There's a nature that comes upon you when you directly violate God's commandments. We're supposed to have facial hair.
Yep.
And even if you're going bald, you're supposed to keep your hair. You can cut it down. You're never supposed to cut it all the way off. That's scripture. We're supposed to live different from everybody else. Right. But there's a nature that comes to that. I did 20 years in the Navy. Every black man I met in the Navy that was clean shaven was a fucking Tom, man.
Yep.
Because you don't, at boot camp, you got to be clean shaven. And if you get in trouble in the military, you got to be clean shaven. But you don't have to be unless you do those two things. You get in trouble, you're in boot camp. You could keep a mustache, and depending on your command and your commanding officer, you can even grow a beard. Depending on your commanding officer. If you have the opportunity to do that and you choose not to, every time in the Navy, I can't speak for the Army, can't speak for the Marines, but in the military, everybody who chose to look like that, They were some motherfucking sellouts, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they trying to look unthreatening, like little boys.
Mm-hmm.
We men, man, we grow this shit out, boy. We grow our hair out if we want to. You don't have to grow your hair all the way out, but yet you can't. You're not supposed to cut all your hair off, clean shaven.
Yep.
But you don't have to grow. Me and him growing our hair out. You don't have to do that, but you're not supposed to cut the crown of your hair clean off. But that shows something, man. When you choose to be clean shaven, it's a nature that falls upon you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to these guys, they don't have any directness about them. There's no assertiveness. They're wishy-washy wherever the wind blows. They can't even make no real point because they don't want to take no side.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a pro Spence video, but you hear mostly about Crawford, or it's supposed to be I'm getting on Crawford, but you hear all excuses.
Apologizing for Crawford. Man, it got to the point. It got to the point where I was listening to these motherfuckers. And I was like, why are they sitting here begging for Terence Crawford to come to their side? Begging. Like they were making an altar call for them, man. The shit was just, I was just shaking my head like, what the fuck am I listening to here? Man, Bud, you a brother, man. We love you, man. There was an appeal to the emotion. It was a beta male appeal to another beta male appeal, hoping the beta male would basically take the bait and basically be like, all right, I'll give you an interview. Because really, they don't give a fuck about Terence Crawford. It was the interview, man. And when I saw that shit disturbed me, man. And this is the thing. People don't understand this. LDBC is filled with people that are not qualified to be leading these people in group thinking. You got guys there, and their supposed generals are homosexual. You go do your research on him. There's facts behind that. It's so many. This guy's basically acting like Eddie. You remember the bishop that used to be at New Birth? His name is Eddie something. He died out of Atlanta. I forgot his name. Eddie Long. There you go. See, I know you. I know you be knowing everything, boy. Eddie Long.
I grew up in the church. I know about all those folly ass motherfuckers. They all fake.
Exactly. So Eddie Long. Well, 78 Sports TV, from what I've gotten, the intel that I've gotten, he basically be fucking dudes in the ass and shit like that. So you got your ringleader, that's the homosexual. Then you got another one of those guys. I forgot his name. He's a loudmouth. His name's not coming to me right now, but he's irrelevant. He's out of Texas. He's a pedophile. And he's a pedophile with children. Like he's been messing with underage girls or whatever. Even his followers and callers called him out on this shit to the point to where he had to take a video down and put it on Patreon instead of listening to his followers and removing it. They lost some people from their membership and their group thinking because of that. So you got people like that are pedophile. Then they got girls on their platforms that are like kind of like queer, Black Lives Matter, kind of just like, the dykey type girls or whatever. It's just kind of rough housing, rough neck, And again, I'm not, I don't have a problem with whatever you identify with sexually. That's you.
That's fine.
But it's the narratives and how you come across. They got this loudmouth chick pumping her chest. And it's all this stuff is shit. Motherfuckers brought to me and told me about how they're moving. They have this type of chick that puts herself out there or whatever, and then the way you could tell she doesn't know how to comport herself when she's talking to boxers. She's talking to boxers like they her homies. No, that's not how you're supposed to be governing yourself when you have interviews and shit like that. I'm not telling you can't be yourself, but know the audience of the people that you're with. These are not your fucking homies. These are people you're interviewing with. And this is the thing. These people have new media, but they don't even have etiquettes. Then they have other people in their group that are set up to be dick suckers. They're supposed to dick suck the fighters they interview. So they basically tell them, hey, talk good about this guy. Don't talk bad about this guy. Don't put him in any compromising position to where he has to be challenged, because we need to ride. And the reason why they do this is so that they can ride off of these guys as much as they can. And here's the problem. Their fans didn't even realize that they did this with Deontay Wilder. It's like me and Ross have to peel the layers of the onion and said they already did this to Deontay Wilder. So they're going to do it to Devin Haney too. And the fact that Devin Haney and Bill Haney and them are not smart enough to realize what they're doing to them is making me laugh, because once Devin Haney gets exposed, which he will be exposed, they're going to act like they don't even fucking know him. That's what they're doing with Deontay Wilder. They're acting like they don't even fucking know Deontay Wilder. There's no more videos where you got homosexuals like Boxing Ego that talked about Deontay Wilder's V-taper, calling him a king or emperor. Sounded like he wanted to be on his knees sucking this man's dick the way he was talking about him, man. That shit was disturbing. I remember me and you, when the information went to us, we both was equally disturbed on how this guy was talking about Deontay Wilder. That's how a bitch talks about a dude, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's just straight up. So none of that going on. None of that glorification going on. None of that.
Boxing Ego, not Ldbc. He knew media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
he knew media.
Okay.
But
okay.
but that's the thing. He's kind of a weak link in new media, because it's new media is Aki TV, Boxing Ego, and fucking Dante's Boxing Nation. It should be Showbiz the Adult, but Showbiz the Adult, he branched off and got on some real big coon shit.
But he was also part of them too. It was supposed to be the four of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. That idiot. He should have stayed there. He should have stayed with that group, because if he would have stayed on that side of the aisle, things would have been better off for him. But I thank you for clarifying that, because I've seen pictures where these guys have always been together. So I'm thinking, unless somebody tell me to correct me, I'm thinking they all lumped together in one fucking sauce. But I'm glad you explained that.
Because they always in Vegas. They always go to all the fights. So they meet up for sure.
Okay, good. I'm glad you broke that down. You know, once you say something like that, I trust your word, man. So thank you for the clarification on that.
New media is more pro PBC.
Okay. That part I agree with, because I really don't too much care for the Aki TVs, because I just feel like there's a little bit of a back and forth with him, a little wishy-washy there. I don't care for Boxing Ego. The only person I care for, and I've always cared for, is Dante's Boxing Nation, because he's
that's
a real
ass dude. Care for. I think
that's the only one I care for.
Yeah.
Because he, at the end of the day, and you can tell when somebody's real when your whole organization has to come at them. When this happened, last year, when there was this little thing where Ldbc was coming after Dante's Boxing Nation, that's when you know you're a real ass dude, man.
I didn't even know that they was coming at him.
Yeah, he had to come out and do a video to explain the difference between new media and Ldbc. So now your point is coming back to me now. I remember now. He had to do a video to explain the difference between the two, and to disassociate and say, stop saying I'm them and stop saying they are me, or something like that. Yeah, that shit was ugly last year when that shit happened the way it did. But the point is, in the bottom line, and see, this is why even in our live today, if you notice, we're not getting the usual viewers, because a lot of the followers are Ldbc followers, and they have to play that safe card.
Right.
They can't be on our live, because they know if they go back, and see, this is the problem with why motherfuckers are scary, man, and motherfuckers don't have thinking for themselves in their group thinking. Because if they come on our live and they associate themselves with our live, they got to go back and say, man, you was on He Knows fucking live. They know who the fuck I am. They know who the fuck Tom Ross is. You was on He Knows and Tom Ross. Man, fuck you, man. We're going to cancel your membership. So they don't want their membership canceled. So that's why they keep bouncing back and forth. And they being anonymous. Notice, we usually get a flood of comments, man.
Yeah.
We not only the real ones that don't give a fuck about none of these motherfuckers, or have already been canceled out, are on the live right now. But all these other motherfuckers, they being very careful. They playing that careful game. Yes, I have to call you guys out too that are in the comment section.
You are a DSM major. I'm just a nigga who's well read. Mm-hmm. You know very well what's going on. It's called cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
When a motherfucker hears something, whether it's a truth or opinion, that directly conflicts with what they think and what they believe, there's a moment of like deer in the headlights, or a moment of denial.
Yep.
Or a moment of When the Bible says they stopped up their ears and they yelled, that's cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
The truth, that's when the truth hits your soul. When you go through cognitive dissonance, the truth has cut asunder to your soul.
Yes.
So you just react. You might react violently. You might react. You might react verbally in a spat. Normally you'll get insulted, called dumb, or you might get shut out.
Yep.
To where a nigga be like, man, Errol Spence exposed Ldbc and Blue Blood. Man, I'm not even watching that. Because you know if you was to watch it, you will be exposed to the truth that you can't deny. And now you got to make a fundamental decision you don't want to make. The Bible says a man avoids the truth so because he don't want to discover himself. So it's the truth. A lot of people play dumb to reality because they know if they have to accept the truth, then that means they have to make a fundamental change that they not willing to make. So they act like they can't see the truth. They can't hear the truth. Where is it? I can't find it. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, he knows they're alive. That title, I don't know, man. That title's too deep for me. I ain't gonna be able to fuck with that.
Yep.
Because it says Ldbc. And they were, and you know what? They were smart. Now that I think about it, Fight Hype was smart. Because when they say text a reporter, Ldbc gonna tune into that. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell is this check? And then they tune in and they see it's fucking Blue Blood Sports TV. But I believe if they would have put Blue Blood Sports TV, they would have lost the Ldbc crowd.
Yep.
So they were smart doing that. Damn, I didn't think. I just wanted to put his name in it. So I just wanted to put a face to a name, a voice to a name. But they were smart for doing that because now the people who need to see it, they get tricked into seeing it. They're like, oh shit, who did he check? And then they hear Blue Blood Sports TV sounding like a fucking idiot. Actually, dumbass question that Errol Spence just answered 5 minutes ago. Answered the same. He asked him how are you going to deal with Buzz Crawford switch hitter? Like you asking a master box, you don't have nothing else to ask. You ask. That's
what I said. These guys say the same talking points over and over again to the point to where these fighters, and that's why I said no. It doesn't matter how much ass kissing you do. Fighters get to a point where they get annoyed with you, man. Because they know it's gonna be bullshit, man. This is why I say the whole ass kissing. You know, Errol Spence has guys that kiss his ass, and the ones that kiss his ass, they sound fucking annoying too, man. Because I be listening to them, and one of the guys who kisses Errol Spence's ass, and he sounds annoying when he does that, is Champside. He sounds like a goofy man. Earl the true Spence. You know, he's the truth, and he doesn't even sound emphatic when he says the shit. He's just saying it because it's obvious shit that you're supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't go against from the fact that it's not making what you say even that more powerful. See, what I've said about Errol Spence is powerful, man. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? And Ross says that about me because Ross gave me that. But you know what I'm saying? So I take whenever Ross says something to me, man, I take that shit like it's law, man, because I know the dude he is. You know what I'm saying? I know the dude is. He's a solid dude. So that's why I take it as law. But then outside of him, when everybody else said it, I appreciate it. But you know, and because they've said it, it's that Michael Jordan thing where it's not me saying it, other people have said it about me. So I'm now qualified to say it. Man, when I did the Mikey Garcia series, I'm telling you, man, nobody was talking about Errol Spence like this, dog. Nobody was putting him in this rarefied, special company type of air. It was just everybody saw a guy. But I looked at him before I even did the Mikey Garcia series. I said, I went and did some film study on this guy. I went and watched the fights and everything. I said, damn, man, this guy right here, I don't know if nobody's seeing this shit, but this guy's the next guy in boxing. So when I do videos and I talk about this guy, I have to talk about him in a light to where people can see that he is the next thing. So I put this dude on the map because I saw him that way. In my mind, I saw him that way. So because I saw him that way, I wanted the world to see him that way. So every video that I did set the tone for you to have to see him that way through my lens. It's like when Ross did the Snowfall series. He made you see the Snowfall series through his lens.
Right.
And that's why his shit stood out more than anybody else. Well, that's what it was with Errol Spence. I wanted people to see Errol Spence through my lens. I see this guy as a airfield fighter, and this is why. And I want you guys to also see it too. And it caught on like wildfire, man. People saw it, and they saw that that's what he was. And now look at him. He's a household fucking name. He was not that when he fought Kell Brook. I could guarantee you that.
He wasn't. And the sad thing about it, they're going to show you how far boxing had fallen off. Because boxing had got to the point, and this is due to mind manipulation. They have raised us that it can only be one nigga.
Yep.
It could be multiple white great people at once. It could be Peyton Manning's. It could be Tom Brady's. And then the other ones they'll boost up to make them say that they're great. Phillip Rivers, who's never like that, but they'll make multiple great, but there only could be one exceptional nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So when Floyd Mayweather was still in boxing, they tried to act like Errol Spence didn't exist. And the people, they're trying to blame that on Floyd. And Floyd needs to retire. He's taking up the shine. Like, no, people need to cover other fighters too.
Facts.
And the media need to be covering them. But they only want one exceptional nigga at a time. And that was the problem. That's why Errol Spence was supposed to come back to the United States. And he was supposed to be champion for going over there to the UK and taking that belt that Sean Porter lost to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
He went over there and he finished Sean Porter. He took care of Sean Porter's heavy work. It was too heavy for him. So he went over there, he picked it up.
Yep.
He was supposed to come back. But you know what? He came back and still had to build his name up. Had to take a fight. The fight with Mike Garcia just for him to get his name out there, really. He couldn't get the fight.
That's how you tell how the fight with Earl and Sean was going to end up. The fight with Earl and Sean was going to end up the way it was going to end up anyways. This is why I try to tell people triangle theories in boxing work in certain elements. You could tell Sean Porter and Errol Spence's fight was going to end up the way it did because you have to look at the way Sean Porter and Kell Brook's fight was and Errol Spence and Kell Brook fight was. The reason why that triangle theory is perfect is because everybody fought everybody at their best. When Sean Porter fought Kell Brook, it was the best for both of them. When Errol Spence fought Kell Brook, it was the best for both of them. And then when Errol Spence and Sean Porter fought, they fought each other at their best. Right. And what we saw is both fights were close, but Errol Spence pulled away towards the end. Whereas with Sean Porter got exposed towards the end. So you knew that once Errol Spence and Sean Porter fight, it was going to be like that too. And Errol Spence was going to pull towards the end because the Kell Brook fight gave you the idea. So when people say triangle theories don't work, they work when you follow certain elements to it.
It works depending on the fighter.
Yep.
The fighter has to be great enough to make them work.
Yep.
I.e. Muhammad Ali, i.e. Floyd Mayweather Jr., i.e. Errol Spence, i.e. Marvin Hatton. Like, it's a certain fighter can make the triangle. It normally don't work. Niggas just be whooping each other. Like Floyd said. He's like, man, all these guys whooping each other, but ain't nobody whoop Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yep. But when it's an airfield fighter, he makes the triangulation work. Even if he got to run it back twice or so. Because Muhammad Ali had to run it back twice with Joe Frazier because Joe Frazier won the first time. But when he was done, the triangle worked. He's at the top. With the great fighters, it does work.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you brought that emphatic point because, in all honesty, what you just said was the truth. And what people got to understand from the biggest aspect of all of this and the biggest takeaway, and it's important that people understand the biggest takeaway from this. The Ldbc is on notice. The motherfuckers on notice. And right now, you know how we say rent is due? Rent is fucking due.
Mm-hmm.
Earl put them on rent status. See, Leonard Ldbc put them on, here's the eviction notice. Errol Spence put him on rent is due status. So after Errol Spence, now if they try one more fuck shit, now they're evicted completely. Completely evicted. The 7-day notice is coming. The 3-day notice is coming, depending on what type of landlord you are. That shit coming. So the bottom line is, tighten the fuck up, or y'all gonna get evicted. This is straight up. And here's the thing: this is Al Heyman's way of letting these motherfuckers know I control all the cards at the end of the day. See, I'm bringing it all. I said all of this to bring it back to the guy who really has the power without even showing his own face. This is how powerful he is. Mm-hmm. He's letting you know that he's gonna whip you back in shape without even having to show his face doing that. He has his people doing it for him. So you thought you was gonna tear him down? You thought you was gonna tear his organization down? Oh, he don't forget. Just like Errol Spence hear and see everything. Let me tell you something, man. I think the reason why Al Heyman is the shrewd businessman he is and he's sharp, I don't think that motherfucker for his age, I think he's one of these sharp older dudes that he don't forget nothing and he hear every fucking thing. And he uses the right time to use that motherfucking shit against you. And this is what he did. He used the right time to use it against him by using what? His biggest leverage, Errol the True Spence.
But I don't think Spence is being used as a tool.
No, I'm not saying as a tool. Yeah. I'm not saying being used as a tool.
I think Errol Spence said that on his own accord.
Errol Spence said that on his own volition. Yeah. Errol Spence is his own man. But what I'm saying is, I believe behind closed doors, just like how Floyd, Leonard Ldbc, and all these guys, they talk behind closed doors. When Leonard Ldbc is checking blue blood, it's not just a Leonard Ldbc. There's conversations between him and Floyd about the shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing about
I believe that there's meetings of the minds behind the scene on how to execute and put the foot on their fucking neck, separate the wheat from the strong.
Right.
And that's what I think is happening.
Right. The thing is, the thing when you come together with like-minded people, you don't even gotta meet. Y'all already like-minded. Y'all see the bullshit at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all have that same. Everyone in the PBC, and those who aren't get left to the wayside. They're all moving in the same direction. All the time. They're all moving the same. They all pretty much not because it's group thing, it's more so because they're all alphas. They see things from a black power sort of way and from a business perspective. And they're all gradually going one way. And you'll see the Adrian Broner's trying to come back. Because he realized, like, bro, I'm the one that was tripping. Other people fall off the wayside. But when they fall off, there's only so much they can say because the PBC, they treat them right. They just don't baby them, don't coddle them. They all moving in one fucking direction. So it's one voice. Like what's the movie? The drum line? One voice, one sound.
One voice, one sound.
One voice, one sound. These are alphas. They have the business acumen. They have an advisor that makes sure they get paid. A lot of these guys been taking advantage of their whole life. They probably be one person that's straight up legit. They gonna have loyalty towards them. They got Al Heyman gets the supreme loyalty. Floyd Mayweather has the supreme admiration. Because he's the pinnacle. He's a poster child. Like this is if you do what I ask you to do, you could look forward to this, at least this.
Yep.
If you do what I advise you to do, you could look forward to at least this. If you don't, you could look forward to being like Adrian Broner.
Yep.
Accomplished a lot of things, but still left to be desired because you didn't put your best foot forward. Mm-hmm. So this Errol Spence shit, you could expect not only Errol Spence, you could expect other fighters to start saying it. You could expect Charlos and them been saying it. But you could expect if Tank get put in a situation, you expect him to say the same thing to these guys. Because they all have that same demeanor towards the Ldbc because you done came at the PBC. The guys who fight for the PBC are very loyal to the PBC, man.
Yep.
And they know who's the enemy. They know seconds out. That's the enemy. The Ldbc is the enemy. They know that. They know on Fight Hub TV, they enemies, man. Fight Hub TV only care about Mexican fighters.
Yep.
Period. They know that, and that's the reason why they handle them like that. If you hear Errol Spence's tone when he's talking to Fight Hub, his tone was different than when you're talking to everybody else. It's kind of like it was just professional. It was no endearment. It was like, let me go ahead and get through this with you because I got to do this, but I don't really fuck with you like that. They know. Fight Hub TV just smart. They get the black people to say the negative shit about other black people.
Yep.
That's really why they always doing interviews with Keith Thurman. When they want somebody to talk something bad about Floyd Mayweather Jr., they get Keith Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
That way they don't say it and they can't get held accountable.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, man. The bottom line is you're right about that. You're right about that, man. You're right. And I'm glad you said that because you made a lot of emphatic points. But I believe this is what I believe. This was personal to them. You know how some things are personal to some people?
Oh, yeah.
Because they attacked Floyd for so many years, man. And that shit's been personal. And you saw that in the Hall of Fame when Floyd broke down and cried and he said, man, I've been hated on by so many different people. This shit is personal. This shit that the Ldbc's done, they've taken personal diatribes to the point to where they now, you know why I say when guys like Errol Spence come out of his mouth to say what he's saying now, it's because of the fact that they tried to take money out of Errol Spence's mouth, and that's when it should get personal.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to take the promotion out of PBC's hands by basically getting Terence Crawford to duck through Black Prime. This shit is personal.
Personal.
So they got to address it in a very personal way. Like, we see what y'all motherfuckers are doing now. Like, it was one thing for y'all to sit there and be talking heads on YouTube. We don't give a fuck about that. Y'all can do that all day, every day. But now y'all trying to create LLCs. Y'all trying to create this. Y'all trying to create that. All on the strength to what? To connive and to stop what everybody wants. Because what? Y'all not getting y'all way? That's like children, man.
Well, here's the thing. They're not real enough to get an Errol Spence interview. They ain't real enough to get a Floyd interview. So they got Crawford. When they said, you know what? We got to keep this motherfucker upright. Because if we fight Errol Spence, he going to get smoked. And and this how dirty they is. Once you get smoked, they don't want to interview you no more.
No more.
And they know they're not loyal. So they trying to make sure you don't fight nobody.
Yep.
So they can keep interviewing you. And they can keep saying on the back end, yeah, it's Errol Spence the one fucking up the fight. But in truth be told, a lot of people, not just the Ldbc, a lot of Errol Spence fans, they really dreaded this fight. Not Errol Spence. A lot of Terence Crawford fans really dreaded this fight because they always wanted just to say Errol Spence was ducking. They never wanted this fight to happen, so they could always go on the bag and say, yeah, but Errol Spence didn't make the fight happen.
Yep.
But now that the fight happened, now you can notice a lot of Terence Crawford fans, where are they?
They're not around.
Where are they?
Because they know what's about to happen. These press conferences, these press conferences were to give them ammo to say, you see, Bud gonna give Earl problems. But after the press conferences, it is emphatically unanimous. It is universal in everybody's mind. Damn, this is another one of these press conferences where Earl just upstaged another fighter before he even stepped into the ring with them. Yeah, he gonna punish him. He gonna punish him. They just know, man. I didn't even watch the second press conference. I'm gonna go back, take some popcorn out after the end of this live and sit back because I've already done enough content for now. I'll just drop the rest of my shorts and shit later. But for right now, I'm gonna just take some popcorn out and go watch that press conference, man. Because you guys have to understand, me and Ross, we so busy. We got a lot of shit going on. Ross is going around promoting his book, going to barbershops, going to beauty salons. So when I hit Ross up, Ross was doing that. And he had to get himself gathered. Me, on the other hand, I was just getting up. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to prepare my Airbnb and everything for tomorrow because I got a guest and everything coming. So we not. That's why I said we don't follow these guys 24/7, but we know what we need to know. We know the know of what we need to know, and what we need to know right now is what we've been telling you guys. Shit, we've been calling for years, and now the reason why you see on this live in particular, our live is controversial, and I'm glad. Sometimes this is the thing. I'm glad Fight Hype did the indirect attack and now we're doing the direct attack because now they're getting hit on every front. Because when you click on Fight Hype, right? Fight Hype did the indirect, right? And you click on that shit, everybody come to it. But the one thing about me and Ross that people gotta love, we don't give a fuck who we talking about. We show you we let our nuts hang because we coming at you directly. And we want the world to know we're addressing you directly because when you do direct bullshit, you need to be countered with direct truth. You always need to be met with the exact opposite of what you do.
Right.
So when you do direct, flagrant shit to disrespect, basically create a promotion company in Black Prime, which me and Ross said was going to fail after one fight. Did it not? Did you not see how fast Terence Crawford took the money and said, "You suckers," and ran? Did you not see how fast AB basically said deuces, threw the birds at them, clowned them real quick, jumped to Don King real quick, and then now want to come back to PBC? That's very reminiscent and very clear of janky promotions.
Yeah.
And at the time when I said this, you know how many people said, "Man, you just hating on Blue. You hating on Ldbc, man. You hating on our come up. Ldbc or nothing." And then now, where are these clowns? Where are these circus clowns that said that?
Yeah, think about it. I can't acknowledge nobody come up if it's on the backs of a stoop, a integrity filled, a honorable Black man. I don't give a fuck who you are. Not even my family. If you step on an honorable person, I'm not gonna respect your come up.
Nope.
I'm not.
If they did this in an honorable way, I wouldn't have shit to say. But they tried to shit on another entity that is comprised of people that look just like them, that's already established. The smartest thing to do, and this is the problem that you see with it, we call these the worst variations of beta males. I had one of those. He was my Robin at IED Jefferson. So I know I've had to deal with this firsthand. These are the types of beta males that they don't even know they beta males.
Right.
That's why I call them the worst variations. Because they don't understand that they're on a supplementary role. Their role is to be supplementary, and it's always meant for them to be that way. They were never meant to be in a leadership role. They fool themselves into thinking that they're supposed to be that way. But see, here's the problem. There's more followers than there are leaders. There's a reason for that. Because only so many people can lead.
Right.
Everybody can't fucking lead, man.
You know what's funny right now? This motherfucker, Money, he my boy, but the way he moves is too slippery, bruh.
You know why he's doing that, right? You know why he moving like that? Because he's doing the washing.
Yeah,
he got no choice because he was part of that group of people that was disrespecting PBC. Notice he kept dropping videos all the time. I'm glad you brought him up because I gotta bring his slippery slope ass up too.
Yeah, I'm about to read.
He was part of that group of people talking shit, and when he saw that Earl, shit, because I do Errol Spence videos. Let me be very careful. That's what I say. A lot of motherfuckers today. If you notice, the content today has been very dry.
Right.
Because motherfuckers are being very careful. And you're going to see it like this for the next 3 days. Because Errol Spence fucked them motherfuckers up. But motherfuckers like me, motherfuckers like Ross, motherfuckers like the real Marlo TV, you're going to see more content from the three of us than you're going to see from everybody else. You know why? Because it pays off to be real all along. That shit pays off.
Hey, let me go ahead and read this. He said, "My brother, Errol Spence Jr., check Blue Blood Sports TV for switching up on him for Terence Crawford." But he did the same thing.
You did the same thing.
Blue was,
and now I'm gonna do a video on his ass. Thank you for telling me that. I gotta do a video on his ass later.
Blue was Team Spence until he linked up with Black Prime and they signed Crawford to fight David Adavassian, whoever the fuck that is. That was the fight that helped stop Spence versus Crawford happening in November. We all know Bud was the reason for the fight not happening, but Blue blamed Team Spence and Al Heyman. Hold up. If you felt that way, why he ain't make the videos?
Okay, exactly. And here's the thing. Monty Brown, you should have shut the fuck up. Because if people we now have to remind people that you did the same thing with Errol Spence with Canelo. Now I gotta remind people this shit. Where Errol Spence was in a car crash or whatever, you left him like a deer with headlights. You went to Canelo, and then now when Canelo got exposed, now you jumping back to Earl. You were one of the main motherfuckers that should have been on hush status today. You should have been covering other shit. Oh, I'm on your ass today. I'm on your ass today.
But Blue blamed Team Spence and Al Heyman. He disrespected the PBC because he wanted Black Prime to look good and get credit because Crawford was on their side of the street. Fast forward to now, we see that Errol Spence was the one trying to make the fight happen because he stayed out the ring for a year and some change, waiting for Crawford. Now that the fight is signed, sealed, and delivered, I feel like everyone who discredited EJ owe him an apology. But hold up 1 second. You owe one too.
Yep.
Well, we know people ain't man enough or woman enough to admit their wrongs after EJ put Blue in his place and let him know he can't keep that fake love. The King still showed him some respect by answering his question when he could have left him hanging and looking stupid in front of everyone else. That's why you should always stay solid, real. And this is why EJ is the realest in the game.
And here's my problem with that, Money Brown. You're not even taking your own fucking advice. You didn't get real and do the public proclamation and say he knows and Tom Ross set me straight. We set you straight. You should have said that. You even said that in your own comment when you said people don't like to be real about themselves or tell the truth. You just said that shit. That's for you. You went ahead and monkey danced. You monkey branched over to Canelo Alvarez. And then when Canelo Alvarez didn't work, you try to monkey branch right back to Errol Spence. You did the same shit.
You did the same thing.
You did it work because you basically said, you know what? Fuck my blackness. Let me go and be a coon. Then let me decide to come back and put my blackness back on when it serves me a purpose. You actually did worse than Blue Blood. I'm surprised you commented on, oh yeah, I'm on your ass today. See, this is the thing. I'm on your ass today, man. That's it, man. I'm on your ass.
That shit's crazy, boy. It's crazy how motherfuckers think they think everybody's stupid.
Yeah.
They think everybody's stupid. Like, bro, you sat and you supposed to be a fan of the truth, and you saying in the beginning, Errol Spence, he's the next thing up, he's blase, blase, blase. But then either you don't know boxing or you're being facetious for the views. Then you put Canelo in that same breath, and we all know Canelo boxing skills are severely lacking.
Ross know how I am. Now I'm already preparing my thumbnail. When I get to doing that, it's over for you, boy.
and we know that Canelo's power is suspect.
Yep.
It's super suspect. And how the fuck you knock out Kovalev, but you couldn't knock out Buddy? You just got through fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So where's that power at? How you couldn't knock out Floyd, but you got enough power to knock out fucking Kovalev?
Mm-hmm.
You don't gain that type of power just because you put on weight. No, man.
Damn, man. No. This motherfucker making me now have to get after him. Now I gotta I'm putting the wheelchair and everything in the damn thumbnail. I gotta remind people why he in the wheelchair. Gotta remind people why he got fucked to be in the wheelchair. Yeah, now you make me gotta go super ugly, man. I'm sorry, bro. You made me because I don't like that shit. You should have shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like, you don't come here and be sideways. Come on, man.
Yeah, but I don't think you should go that far, man.
I have to, man. You know, far from me. You know, I got to do it, bro. I'm sorry, man. I have to, because he should have been one of the main motherfuckers to shut the fuck up, man. And then he gonna come out and run his mouth. You know what you did with Canelo, man. You know, you gave Canelo your booty, man, and that's why he put your ass in the fucking wheelchair, man. You gave him the damn booty, put you in the damn wheelchair. Then you want to turn around and you want to sit here and talk shit about Blue Blood Sports TV, man. That really fucks with me, man. It really fucks with me. All right, maybe I'm not gonna use the wheelchair, but I'm gonna dish you though.
Jason Giles said we keeping the foot on the necks On the next, he basically saying what you said. Virginia Hollers McCaskey said, "Why does Terrence act as if he beat all the top tier guys at 147? I think Ugas beats Terence Crawford. Ugas beat Terence Crawford twice in it. Exactly. Why? All the guys that Spence fought were Terence Crawford's mandatories for the WBO belt that he refused to fight them. And he ain't fight Sean Porter after Spence already fought him. He ain't fight Kell Brooks after Spence already fought him. This dude never wanted that real smoke.
I be trying to have pity on Monty Brown. All right, I'm gonna use a regular. See, Ross saved you, man. Ross saved you because Ross know I can get extreme. Ross saved you. I'm not gonna do the wheelchair. I'm just gonna do the face photo of your ass. But I'm preparing that damn thumbnail, man, because I see wisdom in why Ross said what he said. So that's why I'm not even gonna go extra on that shit. But I will get on you though. I'm gonna get on you today because you know now you wasn't even on my radar. All I wanted you to do, you of all people, all I wanted you to do was shut the fuck up.
Now, I'm not even gonna lie though. Terence Crawford, he's a brother, man. At the end of the day, he on the wrong side, but he a brother. But I gotta admit, man, I think Terence Crawford is legally retarded, man. The shit he say don't be making no sense, and it's not because he punch drunk. He always been that way. The shit he said don't be making no sense, man. Just listen to the press conference. What the fuck do he be saying, man? Listen to the press conference, man. Terence Crawford be talking incoherent, man. Like,
it don't make no sense.
Like, if you type out what Terence Crawford said, I promise you would not be able to make sense of what he's saying. He talks in a way that you can't even use context clues to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
The man was trying to say, if he beat Errol Spence, he'll be 2-time under. That's what he was trying to say. But what he said was, if I beat Errol Spence, I'll be a champion at welterweight. You already is a champion at welterweight, unless you agree with us. WBO ain't no real belt, and you ain't no real champion.
Facts.
Either one of the two. Either you don't know you already a champion at welterweight, or you know deep down your heart you ain't no real champion because you got the WBO belt.
Exactly.
That shit. Listen, the WBO lineage is laughable. It's all WBO fighters with Sprinkle Floyd and some PBC fighters, right? But they pass it amongst each other. So here's the latest lineage of the WBO. The shit was Manny Pacquiao. Then it was Manny Pacquiao. Then it was Buddy. Fucking Buddy. Manuel Marquez. And then Pacquiao got it back. And then Floyd with Manny Pacquiao. And then Manny Pacquiao got it back. And then Timothy Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao. And then he got it back. And then Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? And then Terence Crawford beat Jeff Horn. That's how he got it. That's not greatness. All those guys is trash except for Manny Pacquiao. Right. Manny Pacquiao not even a real boxer like that. He is a fighter.
Facts.
Everybody in that lineage is trash except for Floyd and Manny. Everybody in that lineage is weak as fuck. And what's the name? He could box, but he just I ain't gonna say Wyman. I ain't gonna say Wyman. Well, man, I ain't gonna say he trash. But Timmy Bradley's trash. Jeff Horn trash. Those guys are trash.
And see, Monty Brown, it's not good to be known like that. You now are known. Your legacy is now known as the biggest Canelo fan. That's why nobody takes you serious, because that's your legacy. Your legacy is Canelo. Yep. You're on the wrong side of the aisle. Honestly, you should have been one of the people that were actually quiet today. I'm surprised you fixed your mouth to talk, because you did the same shit with Earl too. But you did it with Canelo. You actually did worse, because you went from black to white and then white back to black. Like, who fucking does that? Like, who fucking does that? And you did it when it served a purpose for you. You know, you didn't do it because, you know, if Canelo was just a great boxer like that, and Canelo was everything that people said he was, he beat Jamal Charlo, he beat David Benavidez, he beat Demetrius Andrade, man. If he beat those guys and he had beat Dimitri Bivol, man, I wouldn't sit here and say shit about Canelo. But he didn't do that. So this is not even just a black or white thing. It's just a reality thing.
That's
it's
what
a thing
it
of the guy's just not what you think that he is, but you left the guy that was the moniker, like Ross said, the truth, and then you went to Canelo. Hey, who fucking does that?
But do you know the beautiful thing in Canelo ducking all these guys is Canelo always looking for somebody he got an advantage over.
Yep.
When Canelo's waiting, don't be surprised if Canelo try to fight. I know we're still on the Terence Crawford, but I'm just telling you the type of person Canelo is. Canelo's waiting on this fight because he knows it's a big payday if he fight Errol Spence. And he thinks because he's been in a bigger weight class, but Errol Spence is naturally a bigger man. And he's a bigger boxer than Canelo. Don't be surprised when Errol Spence beats the hell out of Canelo. And
I wouldn't be surprised.
And he thinks he has an advantage. That's the thing about the media. These guys be believing that hype. I like hype. I like when people big me up. I never believe it. That's what keeps me hungry.
The funny thing about it, they're the same height. So when they stand next to each other,
I didn't say
with Canelo and Errol, when they stand next to each other, Canelo really not going to be this. You know how in boxing they always say,
Errol is really bigger than Canelo.
Yep.
But think about it, Canelo don't like taking fights where he's not at an advantage. Canelo's been at the weight class longer, so therefore he's going to feel like he's at an advantage, but he's not going to be at an advantage.
As much as I want Errol to dominate Canelo,
I want Charlo to get the fight.
I want what Al Heyman is doing right now in negotiating, and I hope it goes through. And I don't want nothing. I don't want no dummies. If Monty Brown messes that shit up, I'm really gonna go after him because there's only certain group of people that can mess that fight up by the way that they promote the shit in the media or whatever. And if he go out there and fuck that shit up, I'm gonna really come after him because I really want Jamal Charlo to be the one to say that I put Canelo to sleep and I retired him. I feel like he needs that in his resume, bro.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah, I want him to have that shit on his resume.
I want him or
because he'll be validated. He'll be validated by then. And guess what? Now, no one can say because Boo Boo. The thing with Boo Boo is, Boo Boo has a universal respect in everywhere you go because everyone knows he has the greatest amateur background. Like nobody was able to fuck with this dude in the amateurs. And he beat everybody, literally everyone, dog. And then when he came into the boxing scene, I'm gonna get on his dumb ass because of that shit. See, this is why I say he's not an Errol Spence fan. I've been told you that shit. And then on top of that, when we sit here and we look at Jamal Charlo, he's been constantly polarized. So him getting that signature win over Canelo, it shuts a lot of platforms down. It shuts a lot of narratives down. And it shuts a lot of bullshit down about the Charlos, man. Because Mel's already solidified with the Undisputed. Maul becomes solidified with Canelo. Man, both brothers are immortalized at that point. Now you can't really say nothing about the Charlo brothers. So, yes, I would want Boo Boo to have the opportunity too. But it's something special about wanting to see Jamal get that. Because it will confirm a lot of shit that we was talking about. All those years Canelo was ducking this man. All those years he was trying to disrespect the middleweight division. And then here's what Charlo does. Charlo brings respect back to the middleweight division in retiring Canelo. Basically retiring the bullshit out of boxing. That would be so beautiful, man, to see that shit, bro. He basically removed and retired the bullshit out of boxing. And when Jamal gets hands on Canelo, it ain't going to be like Bivol. Bivol was boxing the shit out of Canelo. Maul gonna knock this motherfucker out.
Right. What thing is,
it's gonna be like I'm gonna hurt you.
The thing is, shit. Bivol don't get nothing out of just knocking him out.
Yep.
He gets more out of showing you that Canelo not really a boxer like that. And I could have knocked him out. I be stopping people at 175 all the time.
Yep.
I just boxed him up and made him look really bad. That was very embarrassing loss for Canelo. Very.
It was.
If he was going to lose, it was supposed to be by stoppage, not by being outboxed and outpointed. But at the end of the day, when it comes to money, people gotta understand. Everybody who covers boxing don't have the boxing knowledge.
And see, right there, Monty just showed you he's a Canelo fan. Look what he just said.
Hold on. Anybody with true boxing knowledge knows that Tyson Fury don't have real power. That's cheating, and Canelo don't have real power because your power you don't diminish, you don't lose and gain power.
Facts.
George Foreman's an old ass man. He's still rocking. Fucking punching bags. Literally, he's still rocking them across the room because your power is the last thing to go. So you don't not have power. All of a sudden, you have power for one fight. Now you don't have power no more. Now you get power for. That's not how shit go.
It's called steroids.
It's called glove.
Pacquiao had that problem too.
It's called steroids. It's called steroids. It's called PEDs. It's called glove tampering, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't just gain and lose power. Monty Brown isn't enlightened enough to understand that. He believes Canelo actually knocked out Kovalev. He believes that.
A man that was recovering from being concussed.
Andre Ward hit Kovalev with the perfect punch, and he still ain't fall. He was just drunk. Then he would not fall. He ain't go down till he started giving him them body blows right on the belt and forced him down. But the headshots, he was just drunk. He did not fall. He got hit with a perfect punch. A nigga, whoever get hit with a perfect punch that don't fall, their chin ain't gonna allow them to fall, man.
And there's no way Canelo's power is more than Andre Ward. No way.
I don't know. Because he couldn't even knock out Floyd.
Exactly.
He was way bigger than Floyd. He came in that fight down there 175 pounds.
And Floyd took some of his shots straight flush.
Ate him. Ate those. Like, bro. So you gotta understand, his power not really like that. It's for show. And when he do knock people out, it's because he done brought somebody up the weight class and he juiced up at the time. Canelo not really nice like that.
Yep.
And me personally, I want Charlo or Andre to do the deed. I don't want Spence to do the deed because it cuts other people out.
Yep.
But if he has to do it, I'm gonna be there rooting for him. But
if Spence has to do it, you know I'm gonna be right there.
I don't want it.
We're gonna have our popcorn out. We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna laugh our ass off. But man,
I don't want that.
Need this one so bad, boy. That man needed for his mental health. He need that shit so bad, boy. And I'm rooting for him to get it.
But this is going to show you how dirty boxing is. When you're a non-black fighter, you don't have to make the fights everybody calling for. You see how Tyson Fury got the belt and he ain't fighting nobody? He just got the WBC belt and he ain't fighting no fucking body.
Chilling. He should be fighting Usyk right now, right? But he's chilling.
Fighting Usyk right now. But are they? You know what? And that's my fault because I'm about to start doing it. I'm about to start doing it.
Usyk called his ass out. I think that's why me and you halfway like that, white boy. Because Usyk called him out. It's like, why are you holding on to these fucking belts? But Tyson Fury's sitting, chilling.
Because
we know Usyk is about that. We know Usyk is about that free smoke because he went after Anthony Joshua and he got the balls. Even though he gonna get knocked out, he got the balls to call out Deontay Wilder. I gotta give Usyk credit. That white boy halfway okay.
And this is the reason why I don't honor the LDBC. This is the reason why outside of me, you, Real Marlowe TV, Monty Brown TV, that's my guy, but he's been on that Canelo way. And Dante's Boston Nation, I really don't have a love for a lot of people because sometimes Champ side, but sometimes Champ side, he be too much. I really don't got a lot of love for a lot of people for the simple fact, man, I get tired of being the one all the time, man. Have to expose just how racist this shit is, man. Sometimes I get tired of even speaking about it.
Yeah.
Y'all got bigger platforms. Why y'all not doing this? Because it's going to take me 30 videos to do something you could do with one video, man.
One fucking video.
That irritates me.
Yeah, that annoys me too. And that's why sometimes me and Ross, we get what's called, they call it writer's block.
And you get burnt out.
We get that creative block, man. We just get burnt out. We don't have nothing to say. And honestly, I'm going to add Contender there. Contender's still my boy. Only thing is, I just need you.
I can't speak on him. I don't watch him like that, so I can't speak on him.
No, I'm speaking from my standpoint. That's my boy. But the only thing with him is, I just need you to get Devin Haney's dick out your mouth. That's it. You do that, you'll be back to 1,000% who you are. As long as you can do that, you'll be all right. But other than that, and stay true to your principles. Your principles are, you want to see the best fight in the best, and that should not include someone that you have an affinity for. When you have an affinity for a fighter, and then you start saying, "Well, this fighter is my favorite fighter," now you're not even. It's not even about boxing no more. Now it's blind. Now you're coming in blind, because now it's about, well, I got to protect this guy at all costs. When in actuality, that motherfucker don't really care about you like that. He's not protecting you at all costs. So why are you going out your limb to protect him at all costs? He don't care about you like that. He don't give a fuck about you like that. That's all I understand with people. So if the person don't give a fuck about you like that, and they're not going out of their limb to protect you, why are you going out your limb to protect that person? Like, I never could understand these things with people, man. This shit always make me laugh. Devin Haney and Bill Haney don't give a fuck about y'all. What they care about is ducking and people pushing whatever narrative they want. Actually, they're using you guys. You think you're using them, they're using you.
They're using you.
They know that you can help them duck and you can help them hide.
And that's why I feel low key, even though it's an uphill battle, because we're gonna be out. We gotta be careful when we do this. We're gonna be outman, but we're smarter than them. We have to declare war against these guys, because once they're taken down, boxing can become better.
Yep.
Because right now, new content creators are gonna look to them as an example. So now that you're creating little smaller Ldbcs and shit, they need to be taken down. So the example is people like me, like Real Marvel TV, black guys that just keep it 100. And if you got a whole team of us, people like us, then the fights get made. Because when we speak in one voice and we saying the same thing. Why Tyson Fury not fighting nobody? Why Canelo get to duck everybody? You know what I'm saying? Right. Why no one holding Canelo feet to the fire for ducking Charlo?
Right.
Do you know how fast Canelo will have to fight somebody if the Ldbc all spoke? If Monty Brown spoke, if Champside has spoken, if Showbiz the adult spoke on this and be like, he need to fight Charlo. He's been ducking Charlo his whole career.
Yep.
He will have to fight him.
Facts.
But there's no pressure. There's no pressure.
Yeah, you're right.
Shit, irritating, man.
It is irritating. But man, this life's been real. Is there anything else you want to say, bro?
Not at all, man. I said everything I needed to say, man.
All right, y'all. At the end of the day, it's been real, man. I said everything I had to say. I appreciate everyone that tuned in, showed up and showed out. But that's it, man. Y'all be easy. Peace.
Peace.